We will resist any planned protest against Tinubu administration and the EFCC, CSOs, and PWDs warn politicians. Can you imagine? Which CSO is this? This CSO must be very hungry. I'm telling you. Sometimes these CSOs, I don't know who, they are paid CSOs. And if you go and look at the organizers of these so-called CSOs, their lives are not even any better. Yeah? How can you say you will resist all any protest against Tinubu government and against EFCC? Now, wow, let me see which CSO is this. The Coalition of Nigerian Civil Society Organizations and Concerned Peoples Living with Disabilities in Nigeria, can you imagine, has raised alarm over what it described as an attempt by desperate politicians to oust President Tinubu and impose themselves on Nigerians. Can you imagine? People living with disabilities. These are the people, part of the CSOs. Now, wow. So the group accused failed politicians who have become politically irrelevant, of clandestinely working behind the scenes to discredit the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu through baseless and politically motivated protest. Can you imagine? Recall that last week, a group of persons had planned to protest against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, a move which was seen by many analysts as a decoy to incite nationwide unrest and create a negative perception of the current administration by those under investigation for various financial crimes. So in a strongly worded press release signed and made available to journalists in Abuja by the spokesperson of the coalition, Malam Yusuf Mohammed Jibril, the group warned those trying to save their dying political career by sowing seeds of confusion to desist forthwith. Can you imagine? So the release reads in part, "We are not unaware of the machinations of political jobbers who have been put out of business by the incorruptible administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and are hell-bent on returning the country to the old order of sharing government revenue amongst a few through fraudulent schemes." Can you imagine what this plan say? These are faceless people from the north, I'm telling you. So the crop of persons have failed to realize that it is no longer business as usual. Trying to hide under the banner of protest to incite Nigerians against the president won't work, because Nigerians are more enlightened now more than before, and they are equally aware of the good work Mr. President is doing. Can you imagine? Now, wow, there are some things you read in this country, you just wonder where the Nigeria is going. People living with disability. These people living with disability, if you go and look at their life now, there are beggars on the street of this must be paid right up. I'm telling you. I'm beginning to believe that it must be a paid right up. It is suspicious and hypocritical. The coalition urged Nigerians to be wary of a few selfish and disgruntled elements who were conspicuously silent over the torturous 8 years of the previous administration, but have suddenly become vocal advocates now that President Tinubu has decided to right the wrongs of the past. Is he righting the wrongs or creating more problems for Nigerians? Who are these faceless people with disability in Abuja that will come here and write this thing? All those people that are begging for money every day on the streets of Abuja, Lagos, and high cities in Nigeria, are they the ones that will come out to articulate this kind of write-up in this manner? This must be a paid journalist write-up, I'm telling you. So it is suspicious and hypocritical that some persons who had no complaints whatsoever when Nigerians witnessed the worst administration in the history of mankind have become vocal now. Where were they when Nigerians were being killed in their thousands daily with mass unemployment and inflation? The release queried. Can you imagine? So to buttress their firm support for the president, the group highlighted very salient achievements of current administration under the renewed hope agenda and wondered why anybody will even think of protesting against a system that's working and turning the fortunes of Nigerians around. He does this, even the system, the right of self does not make sense. Whose fortunes are being turned around? Okay, turned around for evil and badly, because nobody is surviving in Nigeria as we speak, apart from the unscrupulous political elements that are stealing and looting Nigerian public funds. Those are the only ones surviving. That is the truth. Mr. President is a workaholic who came to power prepared and ready to serve. So in his 1 year in office, Mr. President signed, approved, and delivered the Amiable Student Loan Project. He has equally done great strides in the area of infrastructure development, with numerous legacy projects springing up across the country. The agriculture sector, steel sector, marine and blue economy, education, and others are experiencing the revolutionary ideas of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with numerous people-oriented projects with huge impacts on the lives of Nigerians. Hey, now, wow, propaganda. So the astronomical increase in our internally generated revenue since the advent of the administration deserves accolade. So what are we doing with the revenue that have been generated? Hey. So these people that are also called people living with disability, they are the people writing all this disabi. They are so articulated and knowledgeable to this point. Oh my God. Now, wow. Since the return of democracy, no security administration has tackled our security challenges headlong like the current administration, with marching orders to the military, top brass, and free hand to do their job. President Tinubu has holistically addressed the disturbing state of insecurity that was threatened to destroy us, the group noted. Can you imagine? So Tinubu is finding security. What about the killing going on in Zamfara State, the killing going on in Benue State, the killing going on in Plateau State, the killing going on in Borno State, where even the kidnapping going on in Abuja and all those places. So where Tinubu never visited Kaduna when the very massive kidnapping and security issues took place. He never visited Benue State. He never visited Plateau State. And we are saying that even kidnapping in Abuja, kidnapping came to meet Tinubu right in Abuja. And that these people are writing, not be these people are they are paid journalists are the ones writing these things. I'm telling you. So they continue saying, as patriots, we are united in our numbers in showing sustained support to the current administration, and we urge all opinion leaders to continue to make their voices heard above the noises of our enemies, no matter how cunning and crafty their propaganda and reasons for forcing chaotic protest on the nation might be. We have not healed from the destructive consequences of the NSAC's protest that almost crumbled our economy. If what happened in Egypt, Libya, and recently Kenya will not counsel us to eschew violence against the government, then we are doomed as a people. The release are dead. This must be the Islamic clerics, because this is following the tone of the Islamic clerics that wrote yesterday, and they are calling them CSOs. These are not CSOs or disabilities people. These are the Islamic clerics that wrote yesterday that are repeating what they wrote again. So while admitting that citizens have every right to protest and express their grievances in an acceptable manner, the group distances itself from the current forced-sponsored and ill-motivated protest, adding that their members across the 89 other civil society organizations, CSOs, that form the coalition will not be participating in any sham of a protest and will do everything possible to frustrate those protests. Can you imagine? These 89 CSOs, now lie. You don't have 89 CSOs. These ones are just paid propagandists. It is quite obvious. Very, very obvious. Let me just take a few comments. Somebody said, when it starts, go and block them because you enjoy suffering. Fools that you are. Exactly. If the protest must hold at all, it should be against the foreign Fulanis ravaging our farmlands, killing, kidnapping, maiming, and raping our farmers. They are the major cause of famine in the land. Yeah, that is your own view. You cannot stop protest. Simple. I've told him. But Tinubu protested during Jonathan's regime and was allowed to do so along with his failed politicians some years past. Let's stop tribal sentiment. What goes around comes around. And that is the truth about it. Where were these so-called organizations when Tinubu and Buhari led similar protests against Jonathan's government in 2014? Okay? Keep deceiving yourselves. We shall see how you go about it. Hypocrites. That's what they are. The truth is that these people are paid propagandists by the current government. They are not CSOs anywhere. That is my take. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comments.